flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the South River Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On August 1st of 2018, notice was extra mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune and the Sentinel. Also on October the 1st, the notice was delivered to the South River Borough Clerk's office and posted at the Board of Education building. Also on that date, notice was posted at the Borough Clerk's office. Roll call.
Mr. Andre?
Mr. Andre has been excused.
Mr. Bazak?
Mr. Bazek's been excused.
Mrs. Beck?
Here.
Mrs. Bush?
Here.
Mrs. Cruz?
Mr. Cruz has been excused.
Mr. Nielsen?
Here.
Mr. Rosanna?
Mr. Renanda has been excused.
Mr. Vanek?
Here.
Mr. Waluda?
Here.
Ms. Cassiano?
She's been excused. Mr. President has been excused. Rather than starting the meeting off exactly so, a little bit of housekeeping. The board is going to be going into executive session right exactly at the meeting start. That means everyone will have to leave the meeting room here, and we will be in closed session probably 20 minutes to a half hour at the most, and then we will continue with our meeting. But before the meeting starts, or since the meeting has started, we will actually be going into executive session. Resolved that pursuant to Section 7 and 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, the following subject to be discussed in a session of the Board of Education closed to the public will be personnel and
Building
building security. It is presently anticipated that the problems to be discussed at the closed session will be revealed to the public when they've been resolved. And do I hear a motion?
Nielsen.
Bush.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mrs. Bush. Okay, we'll continue with the agenda then. All board members have copies of the minutes of May 24th, June 28th, and 2 meetings on July
Closer to
6th.
the mic. That mic a little bit closer to you, Brian, just sit with us.
Yeah, that's gotta be
Board
better
members,
to you,
your
Rich.
pleasure on the approval of the minutes?
Approve the minutes recording of board policy.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Beck.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. The use of facilities, Mr. Kukoska.
We have 6 items on the agenda for tonight. The South River High School PTA, the Inferno Dance Group, South River Elementary School PTA, South River High School Booster Club, the ESS Special Services, and the South River High School Booster Club.
Board members, your pleasure.
Move the use of facilities in accordance with board policies.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bush. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. The financial report, Mrs. Evans.
Thank you. All board members have a copy of the financial report. Are we doing the motion now, or, okay, very good, thank you. Okay, so be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report, which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for June 2018 be approved, and I so move.
Motion by Mrs. Evans.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Mrs. Zichter, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Iluda. So first on my report today, I'd like to talk about an opportunity that has come our way from the New Jersey Department of Education. The New Jersey Department of Education informed us that we, as a district, are eligible to apply for the early childhood education expansion of preschool funding. And what that means for a district is that our district currently does not receive funding for our preschool program. It's a tuition-based program at this time. But this funding would give us the opportunity to provide preschool tuition-free to residents of South River. Now, the funding is not ours yet. We have to actually apply for this funding, and we have a very short time to complete the application process. But the moment we received notification of this opportunity, we began the process. Our Director of Curriculum and Instruction has been working towards this application, as well as our Director of Special Services and Special Education. So what this would mean is we have the opportunity to grow our preschool. Currently, we serve about 30 students in a half-day preschool program that is tuition-based. This would give us the opportunity to expand that to about 60 students in district for full-day preschool. And one of the elements of the application and of the funding is that we would have to be prepared to open up that full-day program January 2nd. So if we apply for the funding and we receive the funding, which would be great news, we might be seeing an opportunity for parents in our community for preschool tuition-free full day starting as soon as January 2nd. So I'll definitely keep the public informed of that as we progress and move forward, but we're definitely excited to get that application going and to hopefully have those grant funds. In addition to expanding our preschool in terms of the number of students we can serve, as well as part-time to full day, we also have the opportunity to use funding for curriculum materials, staffing, other resources, and other resources that we would need, such as anything from a classroom library to more equipment on our playgrounds. So it's really an exciting opportunity for us, and like I said, I would definitely keep our community posted as those opportunities come about, but we're very excited about that. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to give a sincere thanks to all of our 12-month employees. Many of our employees go home for the summer, but we also have many people who stay in district all year long, serving the needs of our school district. And I really want to give them a thank you because they spend the summer really getting us ready for the opening of school, which is, I can't believe it, right around the corner. So really a special thank you to all those people who work with us all summer long, put their time in and get us ready for the start of school. And so concludes my report.
Board members, questions?
Move the superintendent's report.
Motion by Mrs. Nielsen,
Second.
second by Mrs. Beck. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. The consent resolution is being moved to the end of the committee reports. And at that time also, the meeting will be open to the public for any comments or questions on any items that are on the agenda. Saying that, we'll go to the athletic committee. Mr. Beck?
Sure. During the month of August, they normally don't do a report, that's why you don't have one. However, I did reach out to Ms. Perkin and get an update on everybody. The boys and girls soccer teams have had 2 scrimmages already and have 2 more coming up this week. Football scrimmage is Friday. And then their first high school pep rally is September 7th. Spirit Games is the 21st and homecoming is the 22nd. So that concludes my report.
Anyone? Okay, the buildings and grounds committee, Mrs. Banner?
Thank you, Mr. President. All board members do have the report of the Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds. A lot of stuff went on here during the summer at the school and around the grounds. I am just really impressed every month, the more that our supervisor, Stephen Blaja, does with the small staff that he does have. Some of the items, he installed new countertops in the high school art rooms, new workbenches, replaced the rooftop HVAC units for the elementary school, installing new ice makers in the trainer's office, painting and wiring. So while you might think that the schools are closed during the summer, a lot goes on here in these hallways. I'd also like to read the statement at the end of Mr. Blaja's report. And these are not my words, these are Mr. Blaja's words. And he goes on to state that, I would like to offer a special thank you to Andy Tobias. After 29 years of loyal service to the district, Andy will be retiring at the end of the month. He has made more contributions to this district than most of us could even imagine. I wish him the best of luck in his retirement. He will be greatly missed. So completes the Buildings and Grounds report. If any other board members have any comments or questions? Thank you.
Mrs. Bailey, can I continue with the finance then?
Yes, thank you. Under Finance, we have 20 items on the agenda. Item 1 is to approve and submit and accept the IDEA grant application fiscal year 2019. Accept 2017-2018 non-public transportation aid. Accept 2017-2018 extraordinary aid. Accept E-rate funding 2018-2019 school year. Approve 2018-2019 non-public nursing agreement. Approve tuition contracts preschool program 2018-2019 school year. Approve the contract for Behavior Therapy Associates, PA, Behavior Consultation Service Provider, 2018-2019 school year. Approve contract Jam and Jen Music Therapy for Children, LLC, Music Therapy Service Provider, 2018-2019 school year. Approve the contract Care Finders Total Care, LLC, Nursing Service Provider, 2018-2019 school year. Item 10, approve contract for Strong & Associates Educational Consulting, LLC, Workshop Service Provider, 2018-2019 school year. Approve contract Jersey Elevator Company, Elevator and Chairlift Maintenance and Service Provider, 2018-2019 school year. Approve project allowance number 1, high school sidewalk project. Approve the requisition for debt services taxes. Approve the tax requisition. Approve line item transfers. Approve the requisition list. Approve purchase Curriculum Associates, LLC, iReady site license, 2018-2019 school year. Item 18, approve contract Bayada Home Healthcare Incorporated, nursing service provider, 2018-2019 school year. Approve contract Bayada Home Healthcare Incorporated, substitute nursing service provider, 2018-2019 school year. And item 20, approve submission, Department of Education, High School Vestibule Project, number 4920-050-19-1000. And that's all under Finance.
Anybody have a question? Construction Committee, Mr. Bush?
Yes, there are 6 items on the agenda today. 1, approve professional development and travel expenses 2018-19 school year. 2, approve field trip 2018-19 school year. 3, approve out-of-district placements 2017-2018 and 2018-2019 school years. Approve district professional development plan 2018-2019 school year. Accept donation EduCare. And 6, accept donation high school football team fundraiser.
Board members, anyone have a question?
I just have one comment about the donation from EduCare. I had Tony check. They're donating 40 backpacks throughout the different schools for students. It was a very nice donation, and it's throughout the schools. And that's all.
As far as negotiations, Mr. Martin?
Everything's quiet for the moment. We will start up over this coming school year with the SREA negotiations once again.
Policy Chairman, Mrs. Bush?
Okay, now I have 20 items for you this evening. 1, approve revised standard operating procedures SOP manual for business functions. 2, approve first reading revised policy 2131, chief school administrator. Approve first read policy, revised policy 3280, gifts, grants, and requests. 4, approve first read revised policy 3542.2, school meal program. 5, approve first read revised policy 4111, recruitment, selection, and hiring. 6, approve first read revised policy 4115, supervision. Approve first read revised policy 4116, evaluation of teaching staff members. Number 8, approve first read revised policy 4116R, evaluation of teaching staff members regulation. 9, approve first read revised policy 4131, staff development, in-service education, visitation and conferences. 10, approve first read revised policy 4211, recruitment, selection, hiring of non-certified personnel. 11, approve first read of revised policy 5131, conduct and discipline. 12, approve first read revised policy 5131.1, HIB. 13, approve first read revised policy 5131.5, vandalism and violence. Approve first read revised policy 5131.6, drug, alcohol, and tobacco. 15, approve first read revised policy 5145.4, equal education opportunity. 16, approve first read revised policy 6145.1, 6145.2, interim competition, interscholastic competition. Approve first read revised policy 6171.3, Title I, improving academic achievement and parent and family engagement. 18, approve first read revised policy 6171.4, special education. Approve Director of Special Education 2018-2019 employee travel expense. And 20, approve Director of Curriculum Instruction and Personnel 2018-19 employee travel expense.
Anyone have any questions? Human Resource, Mrs. Nielsen.
I have 37 items tonight, sir. 1, approve resignation of Dallas De La Torre, Learning Disabilities Teacher Consultant. 2, approve rescind appointment Charlene Prasad, Adult School Teacher. 3, approve rescind appointment Nicole Urick, Adult School Supervisor. 4, approve appoint additional lunch aides, substitute lunch aides, 2018-2019 school year. 5, approve appoint Nancy Roque Soares, Social Media Coordinator, 2018-2019 school year. 6, approve appoint teacher leaders, 2018-2019 school year. 7, approve appoint substitutes, 2018-2019 school year. 8, approve revised job description number C-1, Director of Special Education. 9, approve revised job description number A-8, Director of Personnel, Curriculum, and Instruction. 10, approve abolish job description number C-2-C, Supervisor of Special Programs, Climate and Cultural Specialist. 11, approve appoint additional adult education staff 2018-2019 school year. 12, approve appoint Samantha Servon, primary school teacher 2018-2019 school year. 13, approve appoint Brittany Montori, primary school teacher 2018-2019 school year. 14, approve appoint Erica Marcinzik, middle school special education teacher 2018-2019 school year. 15, approve appoint Lauren Baxter, elementary school special education teacher 2018-2019 school year. 16, approve appoint Rebecca Hadley, elementary school teacher 2018-2019 school year. 17, approve appoint Alexandra Demetrius, elementary school teacher 2018-19 school year. 18, approve appoint Rivka Modino Zachariah, school psychologist 2018-2019 school year. 19, approve appoint Tara Rask, primary school English as a second language teacher for the 2018-2019 school year. 20, approve transfer Nicole Urick from supervisor of special programs, climate and cultural specialist to high school assistant principal for the 2018-2019 school year. 21, approve appoint Maria Emondia, middle school mathematics teacher 2018-2019 school year. 22, approve additional athletic site worker 2018-2019 school year. 23, approve Beth Krakuski, attendance officer, additional work hours. 24, approve rescind appointment of Nicole Urick as anti-bullying coordinator for the 2018-2019 school year. 25, approve appoint Raymond Dorso, anti-bullying coordinator 2018-2019 school year. 26, approve appoint Allison McGreevy, primary high school media specialist 2018-2019 school year. 27, approve appoint Thomas Risk, middle school principal 2018-2019 school year. 28, approve appoint 21st Century Career and Alternative Program staff for the 2018-2019 school year. 29, approve appoint Sima Wolf, part-time occupational therapist 2018-2019 school year. 30, approve transfer Jody Evan Ego from middle school / high school social worker / student behavior support specialist to school social worker 2018-2019 school year. 31, rescind transfer Jason Kaminsky Chordas from primary school grade 1 teacher to elementary school teacher.
Board members?
Hold on,
No, he's still going, he's still going.
Still going, Reg.
Oh,
32, transfer Charlene Prasad from primary school special education teacher to high school special education teacher. 33, approve appoint adult school co-supervisors 2018-2019 school year. 34, approve appoint additional co-curricular staff middle school 2018-2019 school year. 35, approve appoint additional middle school lunchroom monitor 2018-2019 school year. 36, approve appoint Allison Alfano elementary school special education teacher 2018-2019 school year. 37, approve appoint Tammy Moss occupational therapist 2018-2019 school year. And now I'm done, Reg.
anyone have any questions? If not, safety and risk management, Ms. O'Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are only 8 items under this category. First is to approve full transportation routes, Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, 2018-2019 school year. Number 2, rescind renewal Phoenix Transportation, LLC, St. Bartholomew School, Route SB1, 2008-2019 school year. 3, approve first student, St. Bartholomew School, route number SBA, 2018-2019 school year. 4, approve first student, St. Bartholomew School route, number SBB, 2018-2019 school year. 5, approve first student, St. Bartholomew School, route number SBC, 2018-2019 school year. 6, approve first student, St. Joseph High School and Bishop George R. High School, route number BASJ1, 2018-2019 school year. 7, approve first student, St. Stanislaus Kostka School and Our Lady of Victory School, route number SSLV1, 2018-2019 school year. And number 8, approve East Brunswick Board of Education, Jointure St. Thomas the Apostle School, route number NP0202, 2018-2019 school year.
What? If not,
That's it.
community relations, Mrs. Black.
Yeah, we have 2 items on the agenda tonight. The first one is I'd like to congratulate Tyler Capuleto, I'm messing it up, sorry. A grade 8 student at South River Middle School who has been selected as one of 12 participants in the Top Chef Junior cooking competition. Tyler competed in a 2-day boot camp in order to be selected to compete. Top Chef Junior will be airing beginning on September 8th on the Universal Kids Network. We are proud to recognize Tyler's accomplishment and wish him the best of luck as he competes to be Top Chef Junior. And then the other one I have, is from the SRF, which Renee will report out in her committee report. And that so concludes.
Anyone have anything to add to it? At this time, I'll open the meeting to the public for any comments or questions strictly on the agenda items. There will be an open portion for any questions whatsoever, but that'll be towards the end of the meeting. At this time, it's open to the public for items that are strictly on the agenda. Comments or questions will be recognized for 10 minutes. Anyone in the audience? Last call. Now we will close the public portion of the meeting, and we will proceed to the consent resolution.
The South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time, and whereas the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by said Board of Education in whole as the same were individually acted upon under finance items 1 through 20, under instruction items 1 through 6, under policy and legislation items 1 through 20, under human resources items 1 through 37, and safety and risk items 1 through 8.
Board members, anyone
I'm
have any particular item?
I'm going to have to abstain from a couple, but I'll let Ken know when we vote.
Okay, before we then take the vote, I will be abstaining from human resources, item number 7, substitutes.
Okay.
And
Safety and risk management, number 1, and instruction, number 3, are the 2 that I'm abstaining from.
okay, anyone else? Not, roll call,
I need a motion.
motion.
Nielsen?
Bush.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Ms. Bush. Roll call.
Who's here? Mrs. Beck?
Yes.
Who's here?
Mrs. Bush?
Yes, abstaining from safety and risk management, number 1, instruction, number 3.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yes.
Mrs. Urbanic?
Yes.
Mr. Waludo?
Yes, except abstaining from item number 7 in human resources.
Thank you.
Substitutes. Continuing with the meeting. The liaison to the council.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Wailuda. We anticipate having a school board borough council liaison committee meeting as soon as everybody gets back from vacation and we can agree on some mutual dates, hopefully within the first month of school starting, so we could get things off to a good start. On another matter, I'd like to ask our attorney, Mr. Parton, do you have any more information in regard to the shared services agreement that we are going to be sharing with the borough for our Class 3 officers? I believe there was a July 9th
July.
correspondence.
There was a July 9th correspondence from my office to the borough attorney after the discussions of the special law enforcement officer Class 3 is being assigned at each of your school buildings, given the national and state and countywide environment and the shared service model that's become so popular. I reached out to the borough attorney for a cost-sharing addendum to appoint those and employ those special 3s. That was July 9th. I've gotten back in touch with his office and to some borough officials repeatedly since then. Last week I was notified by the borough attorney that he is not authorized to engage in any discussions or further negotiations of that, so we are nowhere on that. There is no indication that the borough is going to agree with us to launch such a shared services agreement.
When was this agreement first sent over?
I sent it on July 9th.
On July 9th?
Yes.
But we've been talking about it since February?
Unfortunately, we started
March?
talking about it on Valentine's Day
Yeah,
after Parkland.
okay, and I'd like to understand that they aren't signing it at this point?
What I can tell you is that the borough attorney, who is my point of contact, is not authorized to engage in anything. It is not on any agenda, so there is no indication that it will be entered by the borough at this time.
Just for clarification too, we have been notified by the South River Police Department that the officers have been hired and that we can expect them to be in our schools on day 1.
Thank you.
What we're referencing is the shared agreement that covers the cost of those officers. We have asked the borough to go into a shared agreement with the school district to cover the cost of the officers, and that is what currently we have no response on, the shared agreement.
Thank you. That concludes my committee report, unless there are other board members with comments or questions.
Should we by any chance just authorize the attorney to send a letter, maybe, in case? Mr. Van?
Yeah, that was July 9th. Could you send a follow-up letter again and
I'm
again?
happy to reach back out to the borough attorney. That's my real point of contact. I would be happy to do so. I'll speak to the superintendent about whom should be copied on that, and I will do that tomorrow.
Does the board agree?
I agree.
Great.
Thank you.
No problem.
So moved. And the PTA, Mrs. Beck?
We have some back-to-school nights that are scheduled according to the website, so we have all the nights. September 11th is the primary school back-to-school night with a presentation at 6:15 for special ed. September 12th, the next night, middle school is the back-to-school night at 6 p.m. The next night, the 13th, is the elementary school at 6 p.m. And then the following week, on the 20th, is the high school one at 6 p.m. And so concludes my report.
And anything with the library,
I have nothing to report tonight.
the educational foundation is supposed.
Yes, well, we met last Tuesday, and I have to say that the committee is in full swing of planning events and activities for the upcoming school year. So bear with me, I have a whole bunch of notes, and then I know that we've received several ERAMs about their fundraisers coming up. First and foremost, there is, it started today, the Five Below fundraiser. The ERAM that we sent out on Friday had the flyer. You need to print the flyer out when you go to Five Below. A portion of the proceeds go back to the organization, which goes back to our kids, so I'd appreciate it, and so would the committee, if those of you who shop at Five Below over the next few weeks could actually use the coupon. Apple of my eye, this has been the very first fundraiser that the organization has used, and I'm going to read you the description of what they are doing. The applets are going to be $1 each, and they are going to be sold at back-to-school nights at the primary school and at the elementary school. So parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, family, whomever can personalize messages to the students. Now this year what they're going to do is they are going to recognize the student with the most apples wins the contest for that school. Winners are going to be able to receive 2 free tickets, and they will be recognized during the halftime ceremony at the Harlem Wizards game, basketball game. You have to be present, obviously, to get the tickets. Again, if you would like to purchase tickets and you're not going to be able to attend the back-to-school nights, you could contact Shanetta. You could I see both. Trish, are you still here? Trish, yeah, and John are here from SRF as well. You could reach out to any of the members. Danielle Oswald is another one about purchasing if you can't attend. That leads me into the Harlem Wizards, which will be coming again Sunday, October 28th. Just so that you know, tickets will go live on September 1st. You could purchase those at harlemwizards.com. And another something that we didn't get on the ERAM yet, but I know Shanetta talked about putting it on, is Amazon Smile. I actually did that for the first time last night. I purchased something on Amazon, as we all do. And before I did my purchase, I just clicked the charity. I found SR Foundation for Educational Excellence. It saved it, and a portion of my purchase is going back to them. So if we can all shop on Amazon, every little dollar will help our kids. That's all I have for this evening.
Anyone else have anything? And Mr. Martin?
No, Bart, my report was an executive session. Thank you.
And our student rep has been excused this evening. Is there any old or new business before the board?
Just new business. I just wanted to congratulate our newly appointed middle school principal, Tom Rizk, who is here tonight. That way he can give a wave and people can start to get to know at least what he looks like. Congratulations.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Anything else? This time we will open the meeting to the public. Any comments or questions on any item whatsoever? Comments and questions or limited to 10 minutes.
Good evening, John Zapata, 35 Monash Street here in South River. I have a question on, I guess, the issue that Ms. Urbanic kind of brought up about the shared services agreement. I've been following it, I guess, probably a little bit more than I should have, but my understanding is right after everything that happened in Florida, there was a number of meetings, students, teachers, parents, and basically, council and the Board of Education basically came to a gentleman's agreement that we're going to try to have security guards at the school, armed security guards, and then I believe the Board of Education put it into their budget 2 security guards, and the council, I guess, was supposed to match and pay for the other 2 security guards. And then they backed out of it, and then they said they were going to do it again. And then I think ordinarily there's a shared services agreement, a contract between the Board of Education and the school, similar to, I guess, what happens with, plowing the parking lots here at the school. And I guess the town's allowed to use the school facilities for summer rec. Is that a similar situation?
Yeah, in fact, Mr. Zapata, the shared services agreement that we have placed before them for consideration is an amended version, an extended version of the existing shared service agreement that addresses exactly the topics that you just mentioned.
Yeah, because the part I'm getting confused about is that a few weeks ago, we all got our tax bills and we got this nice little letter saying that the council had, they got notice from the Board of Education late and they had to change their whole budget and they increased the taxes a little bit more to pay for the security guards in the school. But now, I don't quite understand, based on that letter, why now they're not entering into a shared services agreement. Because my guess is they're going to have the 4 officers, correct, for the start of the school year?
So it's my understanding they've hired four officers. Basically what we're waiting on is that shared agreement so that we can share the payment for those.
Officers, one stationed at each entrance of the schools here in South River. When it comes to paying the officers, is it still going to be 2 paid by the Board of Education, 2 paid for by the borough?
No.
Or we don't know who's going to be paying for it?
Well, at this point, ironically, we do know who's going to be, we do know who's not going to be paying for it. Because without a shared services agreement, a public board of education cannot pay police officers. So, it's an interesting situation. But at this point, we cannot pay them, only the borough can pay them. The idea of the shared services agreement was that the board reprioritized within its existing budget, which took a little bit of work, but not impossible to do, and found money for half of the SLEO 3 costs. We asked the township to do, the borough to do the same thing. They instead chose to add to their budget, which they did, and passed an amended budget, so the money is there. And yet, they are not authorizing their attorney to move forward with the shared services agreement. Exactly why is something that we do not know at this point. But we do know that the special 3s have been hired. We do know who can pay them and who cannot, and we think we know their starting date. So it is a very unusual situation at this point.
Well, I guess that's, well, thanks for explaining that because I wasn't aware of that part of it. But I guess my question is that without a shared services agreement and school starts and there are officers, is there anything preventing the borough a week into the school from saying, you know what, no more police officers at the school, if there's no shared services contract?
Legally, there is nothing preventing the borough from removing the police officers from the school.
All right, so that shared services agreement is very important to make sure that we do have the officers the whole school year, each one of the schools, and having one says, just yesterday, on Florida again, you have a lunatic.
Yes.
So that contract is important, so the fact that there might be starting a school and there might be officers there, there's nothing stopping it from all of a sudden at the decision of a couple of people on the other side of town from saying, you know what, we don't want the officers there anymore, we're taking them away. There's nothing stopping them from doing that.
You're correct. The idea of the shared services agreement is to lay out everybody's rights and obligations so we all know what we're doing and we have a deal and we know how long it's going to last. And that was our plan, and that was why we got it to them in early July, because we wanted to have plenty of lead time before the school year was underway.
And did they respond to you in writing, or did they just call you to tell you that we've been instructed not to proceed with this?
I
the contract?
communicated in writing with the borough attorney.
But their response to your letter, was it something in writing that they responded back saying that we've been instructed not to,
Yes,
negotiate?
the borough attorney so advised me in writing.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone from the audience?
Good evening, Suzanne Cogswell, 31 Minor Street. I think everybody here can be in agreement that what we want first is safety for our children here from K to 12 and preschool to 12. I, along with others here tonight, are here to hopefully request some assistance with busing our children to school. I understand the rule is 2 miles as the crow flies. But in those 2 miles, there are many intersections, as I'm sure you all have seen over Turnpike that has no sidewalks for most of it, and a lot of busy intersections with no crossing guards. Several parents here tonight are all in agreement with this. We have called the board to see if there's any kind of assistance. We've been calling bus companies. We've been doing a lot. And we really would appreciate some assistance with this. We're all looking out for the safety of our children. And each one of the parents here have another point to bring up also.
Hi, good evening. It's Dimitrina Vasileva, 23 Florence Avenue. As Susan said, we all here for one particular reason, safety of our kids, and of course we have a big issue with the bus company. Most of us try to call the Board of Education and ask for help. We get the answer back because you guys not responsible for that, and because we live in a small town, and there is only specific bus for the kids which is over 2 miles, and obviously there is 150 kids which is left without the bus, and we are only 1 week away from the school. That was our biggest concern, and we were directed to get before and after school program, which is very, very expensive. We cannot afford that, and in our view this is a third-party company which you guys get involved in that. Why shouldn't Board of Education in South River get involved in a third-party company to get the school bus in the first place? That was my question. Thank you.
Sure. So I know that we have a large group of parents who are in this unfortunate situation because they had a bus that they collaborated to pay for, and that bus is outside the scope of our busing. I know we've been working with individuals as best as we can to provide the names of bus companies that this group could reach out to. What seems to be the main problem is that this group of parents had a coordinator in the past that would coordinate this paid bus. And that coordinator, to my understanding, from what's been shared with me, is not in a position to be able to continue to coordinate the bus, which is why nothing has really been coordinated for this additional paid bus. The best that we can do is I think what we've done to this point, which is provide you with resources to try to get another paid bus, but that's pretty much the only thing we have at our disposal, unfortunately.
Thank you for your answer, but my question is, because when we try to contact those companies, when you say, you guys provide us with resources, they don't want to deal with us. Yeah. Why? Because they don't want to deal with 150 parents who call that. And that's why they want, the board they want to speak to the school district. And that's why we're asking for help. Why shouldn't we get help from you guys if you're allowed to get so many other things help? And I see here in your agenda, there's a million other things. What that means, my son needs to get to the Catholic school in East Brunswick in order for me to get the bus to go into my work, because I can't afford, to stay home, I have to work. And that was the biggest question, and that was obviously the concern and frustration.
Yeah, I think maybe what you're asking is why we have this policy or rule that students who fall within that 2-mile radius cannot receive busing, which is really what it's coming down to. And I think maybe...
How are you going to explain this traffic there in the front of the school, this chaos, which was last year, you guys know very well what's going on. Can you imagine 150 cars extra, to get to that? How are you going to explain that, That's absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And it's not, in the kids' safety, it's not acceptable to let my son walk for 2 miles, which is, I calculated, it's 40 minutes. To get home. What is the safety for my kids? Did I make a mistake because I buy the house in South River? That's I'm still, keep questioning myself. And that's you know, I think the school take care of so many other things, you know, which in the borough side as well. For example, the fireworks, you know, we have 2 of them, you know? Why we have to have 2? How much money we spend for these fireworks? These fireworks is not $1,000, but we cannot take care of our kids. We cannot, and after the week before the school, we don't even know how our kids is gonna get to the school. That's how the Board of South River is thinking about the kids, about the new generation.
Chris?
Yeah, this is a situation that every school district deals with every year. There may be one exception in New Jersey, but they get in a lot of trouble. The fact is that this is a matter of statute, and state law says that if a child lives more than 2 miles from school, or if a high school child lives more than 2.5 miles from school, he or she is not entitled to bus transportation. Is that a random line? Is that a difficult thing?
But
Yes.
South River is 2 miles. What are we talking about?
Okay,
So,
excuse me,
so-
can I answer to that question? My
You
name
wanna
is
answer
Maria
Okay, you
Cardoza,
answer.
15 Burton Avenue. We are not, none of the parents here are asking for the Board of Ed to provide a free busing. We are asking for the Board of Ed to be
Coordinated.
the bridge in getting together with us so that we can find a bus company.
that's,
We are asking, I understand you, the Board of Ed is gonna wash their hands and tell us, because they told us this before, that because we're not 2 miles away from the school, you are not obligated by law, by the state of New Jersey, to provide me a free bus. I understand that part. And I understand that as an attorney, you're gonna put that in front of me. I understand that. I'm not asking you for that. I am asking you, the Board of Ed, to coordinate with us a bus that we will pay for. Because no bus company wants to deal on a one-on-one. And I understand we had a lot of problems with the bus company we had last year, which was very pity, all the issues that we had. And the superintendent is the first person that can tell you all the problems we had. I stood in front of you last year with all the problems, and you washed your hands and told me that there was nothing that you could do. That it was the same thing if I put my daughter on an Uber and sent her to school than if I put her on the bus. My daughter was on a bus with 50 other kids last year, was late to school every single day, and nobody cared. What I'm asking, what we are asking, is for the Board of Ed to coordinate a bus company to give us service. Because no bus company, and trust me, I called a lot of them, approximately 10 of them, do not want to deal on a one-on-one basis. And yes, we could get a liaison and a person to coordinate, but you know what? That person is not going to write that contract.
So just for clarification, so the district, for clarification purposes, the district doesn't coordinate transportation directly with any bus company. We go through a commission to do that. So we don't, even for the buses for students outside of 2
Correct.
miles,
Correct.
we actually contract and coordinate through the services of a commission.
Correct.
And we would not be able to, in that way, be able to coordinate a private bus.
Now, can you tell me what are the plans that you guys have with traffic, with safety, for these kids to get to school?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Yes, they come out and say, oh, this is a walking district. I'm sorry, but a kindergarten at 5 years old will not be walking for 40 minutes to come to school. And then on top of,
That's not, the Board of Education is not, doesn't do school crossings and stuff. You need to go down to 61 Main Street and talk to the individuals on
I
that
understand,
council.
yes, but if you look around, the school does maintain the grounds around the school. Go look all the bushes that are around the schools, that you cannot even walk on the sidewalk. Go walk, look between the elementary school and the middle school. There are all bushes overgrown that the kids, in order for them to walk there from one school to the other on our crossing street, on our crosswalk, right? On our sidewalks, they're not able to go walk. Go look at Denny Stadium and see if the kids can walk from one end of the street to the other end of the street without having to zigzag through all these overgrown bushes that we have. That is the school ground.
That we can address. That we
And-
can
and
address.
if you look at it, look at the front of the elementary school, all the bushes that are there, they're all overgrown.
And
Do
that's
we,
gonna be
how we,
addressed.
how we take care of that?
That
Well,
we
we're
can
trying to get
address.
the interior of the school done first, and that, we discussed that at our earlier meeting. That will be addressed. There is somebody gonna come in and take care of all that. But we need to get the interior of the school ready for the students and then work on the outside of the school.
Okay, that would be great, but how is the school going to coordinate this lack of kids being able to get to school? What are your plans? What are you planning to do with these 150 families? How are these kids gonna get to school?
So I do have a concern about the fact that we had that number of students on a bus who now will be getting to school a different way.
Right.
And I actually reached out to the police department for a meeting to discuss traffic for arrival and dismissal, to see what we can do to get their assistance in directing traffic and getting kids to school safely.
How
So
about
we do-
changing
so we
back
do
the
have
time? Changing back the times of school starting and ending. Yes, last year was a very bright idea to unite middle school and elementary school beginning and ending time, because we were trying to save money having one principal run two schools. Now we have two principals. Why do we have to still share the same time? Makes no sense. If you put a half an hour or 15 minutes in between the two schools, that will alleviate a lot the traffic. Now we have two principals. Why do we still need to share the same beginning and ending time? Why do we need 1,000 kids exiting the building at the same time? Does that make any sense? Did anybody ever thought of this? We knew we needed another principal.
So we have thought of that, and there were many pros.
We are a week away from school.
Correct. And there were many pros and cons that we had to weigh about changing back that bell schedule. And when we looked at all of the components and all of the pieces related to that bell schedule, we were not in a position that we felt comfortable changing back after 1 year, changing back that bell schedule. But it is something that we discussed and that we weighed all of the pros and cons on. And there's a lot of feedback on that from parents, from community members, from our teachers, from our administrators. There's a lot of feedback on that both ways, where some of the feedback that we receive is that some of our community members really support that new bell schedule. There's feedback both ways on that. And like I said, there's pros and cons to it that we weighed at the time when we changed the bell schedule, and also now in consideration for a bell schedule for this year.
I mean, if you look at the traffic pattern and the amount of parking spots that are available between the two schools, it makes no sense. It might have made sense last year when you were trying to save money with one principal running two shows, but now that we have two principals running each other show, I think there is no reason why that shouldn't be moved back. I mean, we had issues with traffic and parking for the longest. And we have an engineer of transportation on the Board of Ed, and we cannot fix this up. How many more years? Do we have to have an accident? Does someone have to get hurt for us to listen to the public? We have all these parents, and this is just a few of parents here. We have 150 kids that do not have a way of coming to school. Not everybody drives. Not everybody has the luxury of going to work late because you need to pick up or drop off your kid, or leave work early because you need to pick up your kid on time. And absolutely the insane amount that after school care is, $4,450 for the year for a family is too much to ask. But the board was willing to finagle that and arrange that third party to come into our district to serve us this great idea of after-school care for $4,450. Who is paying for this? Do I have to get a third job? Maybe at nighttime. I should leave my daughter home and go to work so I can make that extra money. How are we going to pay for this? The busing is a lot cheaper. It was $450 last year. Even if the busing goes to $1,000 a year or $875 a year, what we need is somebody to help us, even if it's a teacher, somebody to be able to write that contract out and be our representative for a company, a bus company, to take us. No bus company wants to take us without somebody representing us. And if, let's say for example, if I decide, oh, I'm gonna be the bus coordinator, what right do I have to write that contract between me and that other person? Because a contract is not just between me and the other person. It's between me, 49 other people, 149 other people, and the bus company. We cannot all write 150 different contracts.
Just for clarification on the after-school and before-school program, the district has had an after-school and before-school program that's tuition-based for years and years. We changed the provider this year.
Right, which is a lot more money.
No, the reason one of the reasons we changed this provider is because it's actually, their tuition is less than the previous provider. That was one of the reasons why we went with this. That is absolutely the case. That's one of the reasons we went with this
But
provider.
the board was the one that seeked out this provider, correct? Am I wrong on that? How does this provider didn't just fall off the earth and stop here.
Do we have to provide after-school programs by law?
We do not.
No? Okay.
Exactly, so we don't have to provide after school or before care, but we get involved in it. Why can we not get involved with providing or assisting, not even providing, that's the wrong word, assisting to get a contract going so that we can pay for the bus and we can have a bus to provide the school. It's not even you guys paying, because I know the board is gonna wash their hands and say, we cannot afford it. I get that part. Help us do it. That's what we're asking the board. Help us as parents find a bus company that's going to take us. Be the bridge between the parents and the bus company. Help us. That's what we're asking you, help. Give me ideas, I don't know. How is my daughter gonna get to school in less than a week?
What happened to the person from last year?
She's just not available.
I mean, we look for everything, like you need somebody to help us with
Do you have a copy of your
something?
contract from last year?
Excuse me?
Do you have a copy of your contract from last year?
I could probably look for one,
So there's your contract.
but that's not an official, that's a contract that I had between this lady and us. That doesn't mean that the other company, Seaway, that was a contract between Seaway and that other company. That doesn't mean that the new bus company will accept that. On top of that, there is a lot of issues with that contract. There was nothing in that contract that said that my daughter needed to get to school on time. There was nothing, that contract was basically written by Seaway to protect Seaway only, at Seaway's benefit
That's the
only.
way contracts are written.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But a contract can be written agreement between two parties. A contract is not a contract if I'm just gonna write everything I want and not taking consideration what you need.
But that's not the Board of Education's role, unfortunately. That contract, you could perhaps use it as a starting point because you have said you have it, but the board can't make those kind of arrangements. As Ms. Zurcher said, the board doesn't even get its own busing for the students who are required to be bused. It's a very difficult situation, but the board can't get involved, and other boards don't get involved either in that.
I mean, we honestly, we are, truthfully, it's not a matter of we don't want to, it's not a matter of we don't have the resources or the time, or that we just don't feel like doing it. We're in the business of helping kids and helping families. If there was any possible legal way that we could do this for you, we would investigate that and we would do it. But we do work through a commission to get our transportation services. We're contracted with that commission, and there's just no way that we are in a position to be able to coordinate a private bus.
So
If there was any
There's
way.
nobody in the district, between the 4 schools that we have, that will be able to be the person, the coordinator on that. Even if you put at the bottom, the Board of Ed is not responsible for anything that happens on the bus, in big letters like this. Even if you wash your hands with that part of a contract, the little tiny letters, there's nothing you can do? That will be right there. All parents will sign that contract and you will be legally not responsible for it, other than helping us find something. But I don't get it.
Other than let the kids get to school, that's the bottom line. Because you guys don't want to help us, the kids to get to school. We are like without any, nothing else is, basically we try to in many ways to get help, and everywhere we get rejected. What we should do, we should move out from South Beaver, we should start moving the kids to East Brunswick. What I see here, there is a 2-school what you provided, maybe we should put all these 150 kids in that school to get in
Okay.
those classes, what you already
Your
provided.
time is up. Is there anyone else from the audience? I'm sorry, we can't give you a better answer than what we have, but
I'm Alex Fasliv from 23 Farms Avenue. I have a question. If there will be no bus or transportation, does that mean if I'm like late to school every day because of that reason, will I have to get detention every single week?
Alex?
Yeah,
No,
I don't have to get detention
no,
for that, right?
you don't have to get detention.
anything else?
No.
Thank you.
So to your concern, we will definitely speak to our principals and do the absolute best we can. Let us get school started, let us see how things are going. We will do everything we can to accommodate in terms of how kids are getting to school on time and so on. So no, you will not automatically get a detention, no.
Anyone else?
Yeah, someone's coming up.
Maria Gaspar, 55 Drager Place. I know you stated before that there were pros and cons before that you considered about having the same times for the school, but you didn't consider this problem that we're having currently. And to be honest, there are so many, you could have all the police you want. Honestly, the flow of traffic there is just awful. We've all experienced it, we all know what we're talking about. There's only that one drop-off lane, you have so many intersecting roads coming the same way or in the opposite directions. You can't even turn. I would literally need to leave my house, and I don't live far. I live a couple of blocks. However, I did use the bus company because of its convenience. But I would need to leave my house at least a half hour, and I live 4 blocks away, in order to be able to get my kid to school on time if I do the drop-off. I mean, if I had parked, I might as well just walk from home because it doesn't make it wouldn't make any sense to actually physically do the drop-off. And that's the huge concern. So I may be fortunate to be able to drop off my daughter in the morning now because of the change from primary to elementary, but it's still a problem, regardless. And so that's another huge concern. The fact is, we know there are laws that you can't help, but we're asking for help. Is there any way, can somebody do something to look to see how we can be helped in our situation? Because at this point, we're caught in a catch-22. You're like, oh, well, it's not our responsibilities, but yet we can't contract the company because they don't want to contract with 55,000 people. They need a point person. We're not asking for obligation for you to be responsible. We're not asking you for free bus service. No, we're saying we will pay for our own bus service, even though, we are less than 2 miles, we're down, fine. We will pay for it. We will try to finagle all the parents and try to coordinate that aspect. But if we physically can't do it because the companies don't want that, so many people to come together, they want one person to deal with, what are we supposed to do? And we get frustrated because it's like, well, we can't. Okay, but you're also Board of Ed, so tell us what we can do, because obviously we're having a very difficult time. And I don't know what else to do, and it just seems to be a lot of back and forth here, but there's nothing concrete, nothing good is coming of this. It's just basically the same back and forth, where parents just think we're all being brushed off. And I understand there are rules, there are things we have to hold accountable to, but what can we do? Can we ask for some open-mindedness to maybe let's look outside the box? We just don't have the answers. We're asking for somebody else to help us look outside the box. We don't want you to do all the work. We just need the help looking outside that box. And if there's another possibility of getting this done, we will look into it and we will do the legwork, but we just need help. And I guess that's where we're all frustrated.
I think,
In regards to the dropping off of children, from Morningside and Montgomery, there's a crossing guard. There's one up here at this entrance here, and there's one there. But every parent has to drop their child off at the front door. You have to drop your child off at the front door. You can drop your child off between Claremont and Lexington and go up Lexington or go up Claremont, and that child is under adult supervision all the way there.
I'm sorry, but you trust your 6-year-old, look.
All right, I know you had a 6-year-old, but when the middle school is the worst up here, okay?
Since middle school, the end of middle school, they've walked to school. I can see them from my backyard, I have no problem. I am not putting my 8-year-old walking to school by herself. I don't care if I dropped her off in front of 3 crossing guards. Something happens to that kid, I can't sue you, I can't sue the crossing guard. But they're gonna come after me, why'd you leave that child on their own?
Yes.
But I'm responsible,
Yes.
I'm a liable parent.
Right.
I cannot put the liability of my child into some crossing guard. It's just not gonna happen.
Right.
Not for
Look,
me.
I'm just saying that every parent that has to, in the middle school, you come up here and they park out here in the morning because God forbid Johnny or Janie get out into a little bit of cold weather. I've had parents tell me, well, it's cold outside. I said, look, there's children in Russia who are walking to school in minus 50-degree weather and they're surviving. So your child can stand outside for 10 minutes.
Yes, the older kids, I can understand. But you have a lot of parents with these younger kids, and the younger kids are the problem. The older kids I'm not concerned about. I started letting mine in middle school start going, and elementary. But because they were siblings and they were going together. So you have that accountability.
Yeah,
But when you have a younger child, no, you don't want them to go to a crossing guard. We teach our children, don't talk to strangers. We teach our kids, don't talk to people, you don't know. Crossing guards are nice and all, but, we live in a really rough world. You don't know who you have next door. So how am I supposed to say, okay, well, I'm going to trust this crossing guard, even though I don't know them?
Well, you had an 8-year-old, but the way you were talking,
So-
there's things you can do to alleviate the traffic. The parents can alleviate the traffic by not having to drop their child off in front of the middle school door and creating that, because then they have to get out onto the elementary school where you're trying to drop your elementary school. So that's where it backs up. So if people were to drop off the middle school children here and move out, you would be able to move on.
One this way. Well, you have all the kids crossing, so first of all, half an hour you're having kids just crossing where the cars can't even move. And then you have every single intersection trying to corner in. It's just really hot.
Okay, ma'am, it's 10 minutes and over. We appreciate your comments. And we do understand there's a big problem. But again, the Board of Education itself does not have the authority in order just to go. It's where the parents have to get together some way, somehow, and try to make the bus company understand that that particular person is their representative in order to want a bus. But the school system itself is not authorized in order to supply buses within the limits that are granted by the state. Yes, ma'am.
Maria, 27 Jackson Street. I am also here for the bus problem. I actually have a 5-year-old, and I just moved to South River. I assumed that there was busing, but I do live under the 2 miles, and my child is not allowed to have busing. I also have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, so walking in the cold for that 5-year-old is not possible. I don't mind right now while school is starting, and the parents and I have been together all summer trying to call bus companies. We've all come together, we've all spoken to many people. A lot of them don't want anything to do with us. We got maybe one that said they might be able to do it. But there's no guarantees. We have nothing, and we have a week left of school. A week left of vacation, and school starts. And we have no busing, we have no way for our kids to get to school. It's great that most of the kids can walk to school, but for a 5-year-old, I can't trust anybody but a 5-year-old. He speaks to everybody.
Mr. Parton?
Yes.
Okay. In order to go over some more of the information and to really go over all aspects so that the board has a full understanding of what we can maybe do and cannot do, is this something we can speak about in executive session in any way, or would we have to speak in committee?
This would have to be spoken about in committee. It's
Cannot be done in executive session as a matter of safety, security?
No, because the underlying law is clear, and although it's really inconvenient and it's really unfortunate and it creates a lot of problems, there is no basis to discuss it in executive session.
I have a question. If the parents can come up with one person to coordinate, could we have somebody in the board office actually hook them up with a bus company that might work with them? I mean, I think that's really what's coming down to
Yes,
is,
but I
you've
think
got
they're asking
150
for it.
parents, but we really need one parent, which in the past has been a coordinator. You know, if you come up with one person to be, instead of having 150, I think even if you do that and call a bus company directly, that might even work for you.
We have tried that. We have tried it, and we've each called as the coordinator, but they don't want to deal with us at all.
It has to be a school official?
They want to deal with the school. They don't want anything to do with us.
But they know that they can't.
That's what I don't
They do it
understand.
in other
That's what I don't
districts.
get, but they're not doing it.
Subscription busing programs in many districts, and if the bus drivers don't want to do it, and we don't have authority to make them do it, but you said you had, or the previous speaker said you had one person who said they might be able to
They might be able to, but there's still no guarantee there.
pursue that. That sounds like the best option at this point, and it's.
Come, Maria.
I've been doing my homework quite a lot.
Okay.
ABC Transportation might, maybe, could be, possible, want to do it. Will charge us approximately $875. But his word, this is the owner. I do not deal with people, I deal with a school district. Why? Because he doesn't want to have to chase the parents for payment. He wants to deal with a board of ed or a school district that will represent the parents. Even if we all, in the perfect world, even if we all get together and get one person, let's say I'll do it, as an example, far example, but let's say I decide to do it. I will have to collect all the money for everybody, right?
Yes.
You guys are very good at math. 875 times 150, that's $126,000. I will not be responsible for that money. I will not give $126,000 to a bus company that I don't know if they're going to leave town tomorrow and leave 150 kids stranded a week later. So for one of those, that's one of the reasons why. If you have a board of ed or you have a school district that's behind you, it implies respect. Most likely, they're going to respect that contract that you have with them. Most likely, they will not screw you. Because if I give that person $126,000, they could be gone next week. And what do I have? Who do I chase? Nor do I want to have that kind of money in my household. So that's the problem that we have. It's just the coordination of it and having somebody to back us up. Even if you will, I understand that legally. There are a lot of things that legally we cannot do. But morally, we have a responsibility to our children. You are all here for the, how many kids we have? 500 kids per school? We have over 2,000 kids in the school system. Yes, legally, you don't have a responsibility, but morally, you do. With my kid and with all these other parents' kids here. Because how do they get to school? They all gotta go to work. I gotta go to work too. What do we do? I'm not asking you to pay it. If we all gonna do what's legally binding, it's a different thing. But morally, how can you go to sleep at night saying, "Oh, wash my hands," because legally we can't do anything? How do you go to sleep at night? Morally, where is morally the right thing to do? Aren't we teaching our kids to morally do what's right?
I can't answer that, Reg.
Mr. Wailuda, tell me, morally, how do we answer our kids? I'm only going to do the legal stuff, not the moral stuff.
Yeah, as has been said before, we do worry about our kids. That's why we're looking for more security within our school system. As far as getting to school, we will do whatever we possibly can, but we are limited. But the safety of our children but it's also the responsibility not only of the school system, but I believe it's the responsibility of the community. And if it's necessary, in order to make safe so those kids can cross, who can you better have guard your kids than a police officer? They will not, they'll only make sure that your kids are safe and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And wherever there is an area that is in any danger possible whatsoever, that's the responsibility of the township in order to provide that safety. We cannot just arbitrarily go ahead and get buses and that. It's just impossible for the school system to do that. I'm sorry, but that's the best answer we can give you. You can increase your safety by petitioning the council to put more policemen out on the roads in order that they have a safe walking distance.
But how does that work for a 5-year-old? How does that work for primary school for kids just going into
Right.
middle school?
This is
Adding police force is not going to solve the problem. Yes, it will, in a way, will be, they will feel safer. But how do you make a 5-year-old walk to school?
If you get a contract, there's no problem, I would think, that if you want to just have it verified.
Mr. Wainuda, you're missing the point. They don't want to deal with us, even if we had a contract. They don't want to deal with individuals.
For years.
What changed this year?
Right.
What changes, bus company, Seaway left. So what they were doing was different. Seaway is no longer there. And on top of that, the other companies have other regulations. So that's what changed. And on top of that, the way the contract was done before, Seaway wrote the contract and gave it to us without us having any say in it. It was either you take this contract or you don't have a bus. That's basically what it changed. So that's my answer to that. That's what changed.
Excuse me, I have a work emergency. My husband just came up. I have a fatal.
Reg, I believe the administration and the board has said everything they can say on this. At this point, we only have 4 board members still present. So you need to adjourn the meeting and the administration can continue and the board can continue to try and work with the parents as you do on every other issue. But I don't know that we have a satisfying answer for you. And it's not because they don't care. It's not because the board's washing their hands. It's because the system that works in this situation that you guys are dealing with is the situation that you had last year. The system that you had last year. And getting back to that is the only advice that we can really give you. I know that doesn't satisfy you, and I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. Because it doesn't solve the problem.
Yes, I understand.
We still have 150 kids that are not, have a way of getting to school next week.
We hear you, but we don't have an answer for you.
Well, how about you guys all get together at an emergency meeting and try to figure it out and figure if we can get together somehow and find a solution.
That would.
With all the board members that we have, we can't come up with one solution?
The only answer would be to fund district, do it out of district funds, and you simply do not have the budget to do that. So.
We are not asking you to pay for it.
I think we've heard your comments. You can be more than ample time to express yourself, even though it might seem that you're not interested in what have you. But I think we have to call this to an end. For anything else, that the board at this particular time is not in legal session and cannot do anything whatsoever with only 4 board members. So saying that, we will listen to anyone else that has a comment, but other than that, we'll close the public portion of this meeting and continue to adjourn.
You have to adjourn. You can't do it.
Okay. Right, no, we can't do it.
Nielsen?
Need a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, just
Nielsen and Beck.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.